Do you ever want to run away and hide the moment you're asked to give a presentation? Well, you are not alone. Today we'll look at a few simple tips to deal with public speaking anxiety. I'm Dr. Nishi Bhopal. I'm a physician specializing in integrative psychiatry and sleep medicine. If you'd like to learn more about how to upgrade your sleep and well-being, I invite you to join my weekly newsletter. You can get the newsletter at intrabalance.com/newsletter. Public speaking anxiety, also known as glossophobia, is one of the most common forms of anxiety and phobias out there. It's estimated that about 3 out of 4 people, so 75% of people, struggle with public speaking anxiety to some degree. The fear of public speaking is a natural brain response. It's natural to feel anxious or a little bit fearful if you're putting yourself out there, if you're getting up in front of a bunch of people to speak, because it puts you in a vulnerable spot. So when you're feeling anxious in a situation like that, your brain is doing exactly what it has evolved to do. What happens is your brain and your body go into fight or flight mode, so you get an increase in adrenaline, your heart starts racing, you might start breathing a little bit faster, you might notice your voice gets a little bit shaky, you might notice that you have dry mouth, or that you have some tremors, or that you start blushing or sweating. Those are all normal physiological responses in this type of a situation. Now, why is it so important to deal with this public speaking anxiety? Well, it might actually be limiting you in your career. One of the number one skills that employers look for is communication, and this includes oral communication and presentation skills. Yet a survey of over 2,000 workers in the US found that about 12% of them would be willing to step aside and let somebody else do the presentation for them. But this can hinder you in your career. It's been shown that this avoidance or fear of public speaking can actually reduce wages by 10% and inhibit promotions by 15%. Oral communication and presentation skills are crucial to your success. And even Warren Buffett attributes his success in part to taking a public speaking course. Let's jump into 5 tips that can help you with public speaking. Tip number 1 is preparation. Practice, 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 and also visualize how you want the presentation to go. The more you practice and the more you become familiar with what you want to say, the less anxious you're going to feel in the moment. Tip number 2 is to reframe your nervous energy as excitement. When your body goes into that fight or flight state and you get that adrenaline surge, it's actually the same physiological response as when you're feeling excited. So you can reframe your mindset. So instead of thinking about how worried and anxious and nervous you are, you can remind yourself about how excited you are to give this presentation and to share this information. And that is going to help you change your experience of that presentation. Tip number 3 is to breathe. You can do some breathing exercises before the presentation. This is going to help calm that nervous system and calm that sympathetic fight or flight response. You can also do some breathing during the presentation. Do not forget to breathe. And you can check out my video on breathing practices for more information on different techniques you can try. Tip number 4 is to make the presentation about your audience. This helps to take the focus off of you because you are presenting important information that people want to hear. Your audience wants to learn from you. So if you can come into that presentation with an intention of service, rather than with a fear of how you are going to be perceived, that also is going to change your experience of giving that presentation. And then tip number 5 is to hydrate. And again, when your body goes into that sympathetic fight or flight response, it shuts down your other organ systems, and that includes shutting down your salivary glands. And so when you're not producing saliva, you get dry mouth and cotton mouth. And that is a super common experience for people when we're getting up and presenting. Our mouth gets really dry. So a way to counteract that is to make sure you drink plenty of water before the presentation, and also keep water with you, maybe a water bottle on your podium or on your desk, wherever you're presenting from. And that is going to help to overcome that dry mouth and to help you deliver your presentation with more ease. Do not let public speaking anxiety get in the way of you advancing in your career or exploring your full potential. You have a message to deliver, and we want to hear it. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video so that you can keep on learning and join the IntraBalance community.